guys, it's Josh Reviews. Oh man, my hair is a mess. What is up with that? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, this is embarrassing. Anyways, guys, it's Josh Reviews, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very, very interesting movie. A movie that I saw the cover for not that long. Well, actually, it's been a while. Okay, so today's movie is going to be very interesting. We are taking a look at Yule Die. I saw this movie on a list of like underrated Christmas horror movies. That was how I discovered Dead End, P1, or is it P1 or no, it's P2. Wind Chill, and this one was on there. I was like, Yule Die. I've never heard of this, and that's because this is a rare movie. I could not find it anywhere on any streaming service, on any website. But thank the heavens, someone on YouTube uploaded it. I think someone saw a review of mine and actually provided a link for it on my channel. I don't know where it is. I'd have to go back and look, but someone provided the link. I think it was the uploader of the person who uploaded this movie. By the way, the heater just turned off. So sorry if you hear that in some of my reviews. I gotta get it set up. I'm doing this in my living room. I do all of these reviews in my living room. By next year, I'll probably have a new setup, so stay tuned for that. Who knows if he'll make a return, but you know. So anyways, Yule Die. So this is a rare, low budget slasher, and I watched the entirety of it on YouTube, and I actually heard some decent positive things about it. And after looking over some of those Krampus movies earlier, I needed something. So I watched this movie almost immediately after watching those Krampus movies. And I gotta say, this movie caught me by surprise. I had a surprisingly good time with this movie. It reminded me a little bit of Mr. Halloween in how it was shot, and kind of, at least in the style, it's very, you can tell this is very independent, low budget. This was probably shot on a camcorder, and probably a lot of people involved if it were friends of the director or filmmaker. But regardless, I had a really good time with this movie. Okay, so this movie is about a girl named Emily. I'm surprised I remembered her name. I'll get into that in a bit. She gets left in the car while the parents are going to this house or whatever. That part I wasn't paying attention during that part. This is like early on in the movie. But they're going up to a house. I think they're trying to be let in somewhere, and this guy dressed as Santa knocks on the window, and he basically demands that, you know, the parents give him the car keys because he wants to take the car. And he basically holds their daughter at, knife point or whatever, and he threatens to kill her. And this guy, Nick, shows up, and he's like a close friend of the parents, and he saves the day. They arrest the guy dressed as Santa. A year later, I believe, the mom and the daughter, Emily, are going to this cabin, and Nick decides to go with because Emily kind of gives the love and affection that she would normally give her dad to Nick, because I guess the dad is kind of like, he's a drunk, he's an alcoholic, he is kind of abusive, so she gives Nick the love that, you know, she would normally give her dad, but the dad is, you know, like not a part of her life anymore. Which, by the way, these actors are really young. So when I was watching, I was like, wait, that's the mom? That's the dad? These guys look like they're in their early 20s. This girl looks like she's 7. When did they juice it? That's a weird question. I am so sorry, but it was something that I was just thinking. I was like, how old is this girl? How old are the parents? They look like they're in high school. So, I mean, I'm not trying to give any weird implications. I was just like questioning it while I was watching it. Anyways, so they stay at this cabin, Nick, the mom, and the daughter, Emily, and this guy dressed as Santa starts appearing, and he starts stalking them, and he starts killing people, and that's the movie. Very simple premise, but I kind of dug it. I would say about 10 minutes in, I was already invested. I was like, okay, this has a strong start. I'm invested. this is a very independent, low-budget movie, so it has kind of the quirks you would expect from these types of movies, if you know what you're getting yourself into, which I did. I didn't watch any trailer for this movie, because I don't know if there is a trailer for this movie. I just saw a snippet, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I'll review it. But this movie caught me by surprise. The strong suit of this movie are its characters. Thank the heavens. Thank you, Jesus. Characters I give a shit about. I liked Emily. I liked the mom. I don't remember her name. I'm so sorry. I liked Nick. He was a really charming, likable guy. I liked the three of these characters, and a lot of the movie is spent with them. It reminded me a lot of other horror movies that I've talked about in the past, where I like the character interactions, how we get, they're fully fleshed out and developed. And while the acting is not particularly good, this movie has some pretty hokey acting. Except for Emily. Emily is actually a really decent child actor, and I think this is her only credit. I don't know if that's because like she was a friend of the filmmakers, or if it was just like, this was like a gig thing. I mean, I would assume most of these people were probably friends. Apparently, I found out behind the scenes, this movie took 2 years to make because they ran into some production issues or filming conflicts. So they made this movie over the course of 2 years. That is time and dedication put into this film. And I love that. I love that they put effort and like time, money, and effort in this movie, because there are moments that were genuinely surprising. I liked almost all the characters in this movie. And when a character I cared about died, I was genuinely taken aback. I was like, they're dead? No! Oh my God. I was like, okay, fingers crossed. This is a dream of some sorts, right? Nope. When a character dies, that's it. They're dead. And I was like, fuck, that's some gnarly shit. And this is a low-budget movie. I've said that like how many times in this review, but the kills in this movie were actually pretty decent and pretty solid. There's one kill, which I won't spoil, but there's a kill where a guy gets stabbed in the stomach from the back. He's being choked. And then the killer, Santa, basically pulls up a fucking revolver and just shoots him point blank in the face like 6 times or 5 times. I don't know how many bullets he wasted, but he unloaded on that guy. Pause. He shot that guy to Kingdom Come. Okay, let's just put it that way. That guy's dead as shit. And I was like, fuck, that was brutal. And the last like 15, 20 minutes, I was actually at the edge of my seat. I was like, oh shit. This killer means business. And I was like, fuck, I want to. Now, that being said, I'm talking a lot about what I liked about this movie. There are some negatives. For starters, this is low budget. So if you're, the camera quality is not the best. The cinematography is not the best. There's some choppy editing and sound mixing, but it's not nearly as bad as some of the Krampus movies I reviewed a few days ago. So thank God for that. And I will say, the directing in this movie is solid. So I think that made up for a lot of the errors in this movie. You can film a movie on a potato as long as you have a good story. Now, we've seen in other movies, Krampus movies, that even if you have a good story, it doesn't necessarily translate well. But this movie had decent pacing. There were some parts that kind of dragged a little bit, but they never dragged too long to the point where I was bored out of my mind and wanted to blow my brains out. There were moments where I was like, okay, this could be sped up a little bit. Like, oh, okay, that's it. Okay. And because a lot of time is spent with the 3 characters that I mentioned, the mom, Emily, and Nick, and because I liked them, I wanted them to have a happy ending, but of course, without spoiling anything, things don't go the way we wanted. Anyways, can't have what I want. Can't have what I want. I want a happy ending for these characters, but you know what? Just doesn't fucking work out, I guess, huh? So, yeah. But, yeah, the story was actually, it's simple. It's a slasher story, but it actually was executed fairly well. I was invested. Now, this movie has Christmas in it, like they're putting up Christmas trees and, you know, there's some decorations, but there was, I feel like, kind of a lack of that in this movie. Like, I would have liked some more neon, bright, multicolored Christmas lights in the back, but it's okay. You know, we got a Santa killer running around, which, by the way, he looks fucking freaky in this movie. He actually looked pretty intimidating, and there were actually 3 moments where this movie actually fucking jump scared me, and I was like, shit, that actually got me. The last 15 to 20 minutes of this movie is genuinely intense, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want these characters to die. And, yeah. By the end of the film, there's like doors being smashed, windows being broken. I was like, fuck. They put effort into this. Because in movies like Granny Krampus, where it's like, you know, they're banging down the door or whatever, it's like they look like they're like, like they don't want to like damage their home property that they're filming at. But in this one, it's like, no, we're gonna break the door. We're gonna smash a car window. And I was like, damn, I like this. I'm fucking pumped. So yeah, I had a surprisingly good time with this movie. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I might watch this again. This was a lot of fun. If anyone can help me out and find a source where I can buy this movie on DVD, I will buy it. I don't care how much it costs. Unless it's like $1,000, you know, I'm not spending that much. But if you guys can find where this movie is like purchasable, I'm gonna get it. All right, I'm gonna add this to my collection. This was a fucking good time. It's not the greatest movie ever made. It's a low budget indie film, but it was made with passion, love, and affection. And I just had a blast watching this movie. Is it perfect? No, but I had a blast watching it. That's why I'm gonna give it a B-. I would give it a higher grade, but I gotta be realistic. There are some things holding it back, like the editing and the cinematography, stuff like that, and the hokey acting, but that was kind of the charm of it. You know what? No, scratch it. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a respectable B. So yeah, this movie was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I discovered it. So anyways, guys, stay tuned for my next review. I got some very special plans, so stay tuned.